On a quiet afternoon, in a small apartment at the edge of the city, a young man named June sat in a chair, his body weighed down by exhaustion. The walls around him were cracked and worn, a reflection of the life he had always known, simple, unremarkable, and just barely getting by. His days as a delivery driver were long and tiresome, with little to show for it beyond the few faded photos of his late mother that decorated his walls. But today, everything was about to change. A knock at the door broke the silence. June rose, puzzled to find a man in a sharp black suit standing before him, holding a sleek envelope that shimmered in the low light. Messenger, formal and calm, said, "June Park, this letter is for you." June's fingers trembled as he opened the envelope, his eyes scanning over the elegant, unfamiliar script. The letter was from a law firm, informing him that he was the heir to an unimaginable fortune, left behind by a father he had never known. June, softly to himself, disbelief. This, this must be a mistake. But it wasn't a mistake. It was the truth. And with that letter, June's life, his world, was about to unravel in ways he could never have imagined. Follow for more. Episode 2, A World Unseen. Days later, June stood before a mansion that seemed like something out of a dream. Towering marble walls, gleaming gates, and sprawling gardens. It was nothing like the life he knew. He felt small, out of place, as he took a deep breath and walked in. Inside, he was greeted by Mr. Han, a sharp-eyed lawyer dressed in an immaculate suit. The grand halls echoed with the sound of June's footsteps. Chandeliers glittered above, expensive artwork lined the walls, and he struggled to take it all in. Mr. Han, calmly, "Mr. Park, please follow me." Each step felt heavier than the last as June followed Mr. Han deeper into the mansion. Every corner held a new luxury, each more extravagant than the last. But to June, it all felt foreign, a world he didn't belong to. They finally entered a lavish study. Mr. Han's voice broke the silence. "Mr. Han, you are the only living heir to your father's wealth, Mr. Park. But the family, they don't know of your existence yet." The weight of those words hung in the air. The inheritance was real, but so were the complications, secrets, and dangers of a world he was just beginning to see. June, feeling overwhelmed, gripped the arm of his chair tightly. His new life had begun, but at what cost? The mansion felt colder as June sat at the long dinner table, surrounded by family who didn't know he belonged to them. The meal was lavish, the conversation polite but sharp. Across from him sat Su Jin, the elegant and icy eldest daughter, and Min Ho, the youngest son, whose arrogance filled the room. To them, June was just a guest of the lawyer. Su Jin, smiling coldly. "So you're one of Father's friends? I didn't realize he had acquaintances of your type." June shifted in his seat, unsure how to respond. Minho, barely hiding his smirk, toyed with his fork. Minho, mocking. "What do you do for a living? Something exciting, I'm sure." June hesitated, feeling the weight of their judgment. June, quietly, "I work as a courier." Silence. The glances between Su Jin and Minho said it all. June didn't belong. They were about to speak again when Mr. Han stood up, his voice cutting through the tension. Mr. Han, firmly, "Actually, I'd like to introduce you to your half-brother, June Park. He is your father's son." The air froze. Su Jin's fork clattered onto her plate, while Minho's grin vanished. June watched as their faces changed, disbelief turning to shock, then fury. A truth hidden for so long now sat openly between them, and it was a truth that threatened to destroy everything. Episode 4, Enemies Born. After the shocking revelation at dinner, the mansion's atmosphere was tense. June's half-siblings, Su Jin and Minho, immediately retreated to a private room with Mr. Han, leaving June standing awkwardly in the grand hall. The echo of their angered whispers bounced off the ornate walls. Inside the room, Su Jin's fury was barely contained. Su Jin hissing, This bastard cannot be father's son. It's impossible. You knew about this, didn't you, Mr. Han?" Mr. Han, coolly, "Miss Su Jin, I assure you, all the documents are legitimate. Your father's will is clear." Outside, June's chest tightened with unease. The weight of his new reality pressed down on him, the hostility of the family clear. Seeking fresh air, he wandered out onto a quiet balcony, trying to escape the chaos. Moments later, Minho appeared behind him, his presence dark and threatening. Minho snide. So you think you can just show up and take what's ours? You're nothing but a street rat. June clenched his fists, struggling to remain calm. He never asked for any of this. But the venom in Minho's eyes said it all. He was seen as an invader, a threat. Minho, whispering dangerously, "You won't last long here. I'll make sure of it." And with that, a war within the family began. Episode 5. Shadows of Betrayal. With June's existence now out in the open, the family was in turmoil. Soo-jin and Minho couldn't let an outsider, even a half-brother, claim any part of their inheritance. And so, they began to scheme. In the shadows of the mansion, whispers of betrayal echoed. Soo-jin, cold and calculating, met with Minho in her private study. Soo-jin angrily. "We need to find something, anything to discredit him. He can't stay in this family." Minho smirking. "Don't worry, sister. I'll find his weakness. If he thinks he can take what's ours, he's in for a surprise." While Soo-jin and Minho plotted, June tried to navigate his new life, feeling the weight of hostility from all sides. He was watched, judged, and measured with every step he took, and it was clear Soo-jin and Minho wouldn't stop until he was gone. Away from their eyes, June sat alone in the estate's library, overwhelmed and struggling to understand the life he was thrown into. He knew one thing: staying meant fighting, but the fight was only just beginning. Follow for next episode. Episode 6. The First Attack. The family wasted no time in testing June's resolve. The very next day, he was thrust into the world of high-stakes business, summoned to a board meeting about a crucial company decision, one that could make or break the family's reputation and wealth. Soo-jin sat confidently at the head of the table, and Minho lounged back, amused by June's unease as he was handed stacks of documents filled with complex terms he didn't understand. Minho, mocking, "You're the heir, right? Surely you know what all this means. Go on, give us your vote." June's heart raced as he struggled to keep up with the rapid discussions around the table. He knew this was a setup, a test meant to expose his inexperience and force him to fail. Soo-jin coldly. "Your decision, June. The future of the company rests on it." June's mind whirled, feeling the weight of every gaze on him. He was cornered, unprepared for the power plays of the wealthy, and this was just the beginning of their attempts to break him. Follow for next episode.